I'm going to reach both of your points. Maybe we'll see if I get distracted and we totally side tangent away from everything. Okay.
Raising a well-behaved child in this world requires strict discipline and punishment. Today, we will look...
No, we will not.
Hello, and welcome back to Childproof, an Airwave Media podcast. I'm Gwen Lathland.
And I'm Tori Phantom. And today's episode is for everyone looking at this holiday spirit with a little black cloud hanging over them.
A little black cloud and a devil boot.
Yeah. Wrong podcast, though. That's Founded. This is Childproof. And what we're talking about is the holidays. And it's feeling a little hard to access that joy.
Right. What do we do when the holiday spirit feels just a little out of reach? I don't know. I have felt this disconnect from the excitement of holidays for several years running. The first year I was like, maybe I'm depressed. The second year I was like, maybe it's the global politics. The third year I'm like, maybe was it just a phase? Holiday joy cannot be just a phase.
Yeah.
That's not, maybe I'm depressed.
We've come full circle.
Yeah. But like, no, it's true. It's just, I have had more trouble. I eventually figure it out. I eventually get connected. I start getting excited. And even when I'm not excited, I'm going through the motions because it's not just about me. No, I'm not super excited to be Christmas shopping, but I am Christmas shopping for other people. And sometimes, like, really, like, finding that one perfect gift. Oh, the kid's going to be so excited. Sometimes that's the little, bloop. Okay, now I'm excited for Christmas. Hooray!
Yeah. That is, I think, the hardest part when it comes to, like, the holidays is finding that one little thing. Because, like, for me, it is. It's like when I know that the quote-unquote big gift I get for my kids, which doesn't mean big as in expensive.
Big, right.
For me, it means big as in hits the nail on the head. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
Yes. Like when I know that I've gotten that, I get excited just to see the reactions. But otherwise, like I've never been a big holiday spirit person, but that's also probably just because
Trauma dump!
You know.
I've gone through periods. The reason I say was it maybe just a phase. First of all, phases are fine. Sometimes, yes, it's just a phase, and it doesn't mean that just because it's temporary, it's not worth experiencing.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. It's just a phase, Mom. Maybe.
Like life is a series of phases.
Right. And I realized this year, it has been tapering off for a solid decade. But when I was in my 20s, man, I was Halloween all the way. Like I had Halloween decorations up year round just because I loved them so much. And I come actual Halloween, I went overboard and I had the haunted porch that the kids would come up on and we'd do pumpkin carving and all of these cool spooky decorations. And I would make custom sound effects because I was that girl. I loved Halloween. And then my kid loved Halloween. And then we moved and it was a little harder to access and I sort of had to make do. And then we moved again and 2 more children were born. And now 3 kids is a lot to navigate through Halloween.
Many.
And then we moved a final time and we live in the middle of nowhere. We live down a street that only has like 12 houses down it. They're all really far from the actual street. I'm serious. I live on an acreage. My house is a full acre away from the street I live on.
When I was a kid, I grew up on a dirt road on the top of a mountain with 8 houses on it. So I understand exactly what you're doing. We would go to a different town.
Yeah. Like we take our kids elsewhere. We take them to the 2 neighbors on either side of us and the one across from us because we know them.
Yeah.
But they do not have children of their own. They have grandchildren
They are
of their
literally
own.
like getting candy just for your kids.
Just for my children. Right. But so we go elsewhere and then someone always remains. This year it was my eldest and not a single person came. So last year I decided not to put any Halloween decorations out. The year before I had put less than And this year, when I packed up the last of the Halloween decorations, we did not put them in the attic. We took them, we hosed them down to make sure they were, because we would typically put them away a little dirty. We hosed them down and we donated them.
Yeah.
Because, brace yourselves, this might hurt some feelings, but I'm okay with this. Halloween was a phase and I exited it. I still like Halloween, but I don't
Sometimes
love
it's a longer
Halloween like I
phase.
used to.
Yeah, sometimes it's a longer phase like that. For me, I try really hard to find that middle ground with my kids because my kids, like, they get excited for Halloween, especially my little ones. And so I try to do all the events. Like, I've talked about that. Like, we'll go to a bunch of trick or treats. We didn't this year, but that's because we lost 2 of our rats, like, at a really inconvenient time for that.
Yeah.
But, like, it's funny because you, like, gave away your Halloween decorations. Well, not this past Halloween, like a couple weeks ago, but literally like last Halloween season, like 2024, my kids were like, we should decorate for Halloween. And I was like, okay. And I bought some stuff. It's still in the packaging. We never, I never, I got halfway there. Maybe next year.
Baby steps.
But I was proud of myself this year because you said that, like, you used to do all the pumpkin carving and stuff. So when I was a kid, like, we would do the pumpkin carving and stuff, and it was always a sensory nightmare for me, like getting the pumpkin guts out. And every single year until this year,
the
like,
smell always got me. I cannot. Raw pumpkin smells. Cooked pumpkin, one of my favorite smells. Raw pumpkin, yeah.
That's what a watermelon rind also smells like. It's not great.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they're in the same family. But I brought my kids to the pumpkin patch. We almost didn't go because it was like literally we had planned this family fun weekend, but in the way that my luck works, that was the weekend that we had lost both of our rats. And so the one day we had lost our little guy and we were all very sad, but my sister-in-law was coming. I said, let's still go. We deserve a break. Let's go. And so we went and we had a lot of fun. It was a really good break from the sad. And then when we were like finishing up, because there's like this big play place, like this is my favorite pumpkin patch because you go in and you feed a cow, you pet a mini horse, you do all the things. My kids running around yelling chicken because that's what one does at a pumpkin patch. And when we go to leave, I was like, let's just skip the pumpkins. We don't need to just like let another round of pumpkins rot on the porch. We never actually do. Right. Like, we never do it. And we say we're going to paint them or we're going to carve them. And then anytime, because I try, I'm like, guys, like, let's do it. And they're like, I don't really feel like it. And I'm like, maybe we're just not pumpkin people. And we don't miss it.
Yeah.
We don't miss it. We just didn't want pumpkins.
Right. Yeah. It is okay to not do like a tradition that you've always done. One of the things and it drives everybody insane because I make everyone, and I'm not like drill sergeanting, I'm not like grilling them about this, but when we get to the time to the traditions, I'm always checking, do you want to do this year? Yeah, we always do it. Why do we do it? Because if we get to a point that we're doing something because we've always done it, and that's the only reason, we're probably going to question whether are you still liking doing it? You do? Okay, cool. Then let's keep doing that. But if everyone's kind of like, we used to take family pictures every Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, we would put Thanksgiving clothes on, but we didn't like doing it. None of us liked the effort. The pictures just stayed on the digital drives. I'm like, you know what? We don't need like a photo shoot just to like selfie ourselves. Like, we take plenty of pictures throughout the year. This family portrait session is an unnecessary expense, hassle, planning, event, effort, outfits, investment. It's not. We stopped. We stopped doing fall family portraits. Now it's to the point that I'm like, I don't think we have any family portrait. But again, I would rather preserve the memories through the candid shots of all of us throughout I walk around with the camera all the time. I have plenty of pictures. I don't need fall family portraits.
Right.
Because
are you guilty though? Are you guilty of the taking 8 of the same photo because one of them will be the best and then not deleting the worst?
No. I am not, but the only reason I am not is because I'm also, and I know this is different. I'm going to say the same thing that you are also. I'm a content creator, but for the longest time, I had a teeny bitty baby phone. And even though I no longer have a teeny bitty baby phone, part of my process that was trained into me is I have to go through and delete all of the old files immediately after I make a video because my phone would fill up after 3 or 4 days. I no longer have the bitty baby phone. I have like terabytes of storage on this, but the habit was trained and the ADHD was like, no, this is how we do it. This is how we do it, bitch.
I wish I ever got that habit. Wow. You've seen just my text notifications, but
Yeah.
One of my favorite family traditions that we do every year in the same realm of photos, and you have seen these. You have seen how these turn out.
Yes.
Every year when we finish decorating the Christmas tree, me and the kids, we all get together and we don't even try for a traditionally quote unquote good family photo.
Yeah.
We capture our chaos, and every picture we'll end up with like 50 of them, and every time there's a different prompt that's like, okay, pretend that you just saw Bigfoot, pretend Aaron Burr just walked into the room, pretend that the floor is lava, like, and we just keep going, and every time it gets more obscure till we're all laughing, and then hopefully at least one of them we're not all blurry.
Yeah.
And it works out pretty well, and we get like a whole slew of hilarious pictures that really capture us as we were. And I like that more than a posed picture.
Yeah. And that's what we've got. I still, now that I'm thinking about it, it's been several years since we've had a proper family photo. We probably needed to go get one of those just so 15 years from now we can look back and go, oh yeah, I remember 2025. Maybe we'll wait till 2026.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe we don't need to.
Maybe we'll wait till 2026.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna forget this year willingly anyway. One of the traditions.
Trauma dump.
Just for this year.
For this year specifically. One of the traditions that I don't get to do as much anymore, and I understand why, is my mom and I used to have chili Thanksgiving because the woman who I plague the most with, Mom, why are we doing it this way? Why are we still doing this tradition? Do you want to do this or do you feel like you have to do this? She is the one who kicked it off because when my parents got divorced, we didn't have a whole lot of family and it became both prohibitively expensive and sort of unnecessary to cook a full Thanksgiving meal because it was just my mom and I. Previously, my dad had more friends and people who would join us, so it was easier to sort of share the burden of a Thanksgiving feast. And when you'd cook an 8-pound turkey, there was enough people around to eat 8 pounds. When it's just, you and your 9-year-old daughter, 8 pounds of turkey is a freaking lot of turkey.
Yeah.
And then neither of us really liked turkey. And we liked the mashed potatoes and we liked the rolls, but we're kind of take it or leave it on stuffing. Green bean casserole is fine. We're just not Thanksgiving food types. And so one year I was probably 11 and we were standing in the base commissary because we would grocery shop at the Tinker Air Force Base commissary, looking at the big pile of turkeys in the little freezer case. And my mom was like, do you actually want a turkey? No. Do you just want to make chili? Yeah. So from there on out, we just made a pot of chili and we'd start it while the Macy's Day Parade was on. We'd watch that. We'd eat Frito chili pie. And some years we'd get baked potatoes. Some years we get spaghetti. And that became the tradition. Well, I got married and his family does Thanksgiving to the nth degree. They love Thanksgiving. It is their second favorite.
You have like 74 family members at any one event that there's like 6 of. I'm like,
yeah. His
I'd
family is enormous.
Crawl in a hole and cry. That's so many people.
Enormous. So yeah, we hop around. All of them do a traditional Thanksgiving. I've hosted one year, which was nuts. But I miss Thanksgiving chili. So the day after Thanksgiving, especially on years I don't have to host. Therefore, I'm not the one responsible and burdened by 12 pounds of leftovers. I make
Yeah.
chili on Black Friday.
I love that. That's like such a good way to honor a tradition that like means something.
Yeah.
For me, Thanksgiving's always kind of been a tricky spot as an adult because, like, when I was a kid, this could be a trauma dump heavy episode. We're just gonna
Trauma dump.
So, when I was a kid, the way that we split up holidays, it was like my family always hosted Thanksgiving, and then at my aunt's
Mhm.
house, we'd always have Christmas. Christmas Eve is at my grandfather's. And so Thanksgiving was at our house. And it was like the one day a year I could count on that my family
Mhm.
would act like they liked each other. And that like
Yeah.
my house was this nice, warm place. And I loved it. And my mom would go all out. And like every year she would bring a new recipe to try. And every year there would be the tradition, everyone's name who is there went into a hat. And before we ate dinner, you'd draw a name and say something you were thankful about them for. And like they're just these wonderful memories, right? And then as an adult, like we just don't have a large family. Like even if I still lived
Yeah.
around my family, this is not a thing that happens anymore. And so now I'm like, you know, we usually end up with a turkey that Jim's work gives him. And so it's become a tradition of mine to record me having to prep a turkey and put it on the internet. I do not enjoy that experience. But then like we have turkey for like sandwiches and whatnot.
Mhm.
But you know, I don't think we've really found our tradition yet. And I think that's an okay thing too, is that
Yeah.
you haven't found your tradition. That doesn't mean that there isn't a chance to create it.
Well, and every year, so because I am kind of obsessed with traditions, in a weird way, I'm like, no, I don't want to do it just because it's tradition. I still want there to be meaning and importance to this, right? But also, what can we try this year that might become a new tradition? I am always looking for, did we like doing this? And I always try to be like, hey, last year we did the gingerbread house thing. Do we want to do that again? I kind of want to do that again. And then I sort of gauge everybody else, because if a tradition is formed because everybody likes it.
Yeah. Yeah. If everyone is miserable,
Not because
it's
one
not a
person
good
is
tradition.
militantly requiring everyone to do it.
Yeah. We do like the little gingerbread house kits every year. And
Mhm.
it's been a test of my ability to let go of my drive for perfectionism and things being somewhat orderly. Because what happens is at the end of this, it really looks like a tornado went through our gingerbread village.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's how
They
it goes.
always turn out terrible.
That's now the tradition.
I think for me, where I end up getting frustrated with some of those is the store-bought kits are terrible. They're terrible. They're poor quality
My
ingredients.
kids
They're
think
not.
they taste good. I'm like, why are you
My
eating the
children also think
plastic?
they taste good. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure
the
that's only
frosting doesn't
half
work very
food.
well because it's produced. It's not the kind that they use. So in my head, I'm thinking like Pinterest level, Disney
Yeah.
gingerbread house at Christmas time levels. We don't have we're not working with materials that are ever going to. I am
And
trying
none of us
to
have that skill.
no. So I get a little stuck there, but then it really is truly frustrating because I should be able to get two walls just to lean into each other, tent style, right?
Yeah.
But they won't even do that. And so it becomes more frustrating. We have tried the
And then
gingerbread house
everything is
thing
sticky.
several times.
But
Yeah.
everything
Or
is
you make
sticky
it yourself.
forever.
And that's
Yeah.
so much work that I just don't enjoy doing.
I don't ever
I
want to do
don't-
that. No.
I don't ever want to do that. So we've tried that one and it didn't work. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I think you should not enjoy making gingerbread
and-
chaos neighborhoods.
Here's the thing. I hate it. But I think that in some instances, if everyone else in your family seems to be like they enjoy it, it's not like
Mhm.
they desperately need it, but they enjoy it and you hate it. I think it's okay to be like, I'm not going to be a part of this part then. Or
Yeah.
can we come up with a new tradition? Now, I keep around the gingerbread thing because I have a scale of how much do I have to hate it to abandon it. I don't hate it enough to abandon it. I just don't like it. But I can do it because I like that my kids like it, and that outweighs my dislike.
And that's the thing about my kids, probably because they're genetically mine. The fact that we can't even get it to do the very basic thing, much less hold the gumdrops on. My kids are also like, this is dumb. Like, bare minimum, please, frosting, stick to the cookie. The frosting doesn't even stick to the cookie. How is it supposed to hold itself together?
I end up making my own royal icing for it just because I'm like, this bag sucks, guys. Like, I'm just gonna whip up some icing real quick. It's worth it.
So yeah, my kids don't like that one, but they have recently discovered they like having stories read to them, which feels odd. But we've now crossed into, for a while, they didn't really like getting stories read to them because that felt like school. Well, now they can read themselves, and they do all the time, and they enjoy reading, and I'm so excited for that. But they also decided they like having a story read to them, again, which happened way sooner. They literally just learned to read this year.
Yeah.
But they discovered they like having it, and I started reading them a story right in front. My chair is right in front of our doesn't actually stick out of the house, but is still inside the house fireplace. In which I have crammed a fake fireplace heater. It is safe and 2 code, by the way. But like, I didn't take things apart. Everything is as it should be. And that's when I realized, we're going to be trying a new tradition this year. I will have to force everybody to participate at first, and then we will judge if participation continues. But we're going to, beginning December 1st, sit down and read a little bit of a book called The Red Wings of Christmas by David Ure. There's going to be an episode coming out sooner rather than later on Bibliophage where we go into that particular book way more, because we did our Cramped Christmas and Krampus episode. So to go check out Bibliophage for way more detail. But this book came out in 1992. I loved it as a kid. It's got beautiful illustrations by Ralph Paillo. And the story is really, it's a little dark, but it fits for my family. This little boy named Albert accidentally climbs into Santa's sack and then ends up having to save Christmas from an angry toy who wants to steal all the toys' smiles, because no little child would want to play with a toy that can't smile. And Albert has to save Christmas from inside Santa's sack. And it's cute. It's a little dark, but
like, it's
Victorian,
a little dark
Gothic style.
It's a little dark, but when I was a kid, I really enjoyed rereading Little Match Girl, which is devastating, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We are going to gather round, children. Mama will read you a story.
So is it a chapter book?
It's a 6th grader book. So there are chapters, but there are also whole page illustrations that are gorgeous.
Okay.
Absolutely devastatingly beautiful illustrations in this book. It's a little difficult to find, and I do not believe it comes in any of the modern formats. I don't think, well, audio is not a modern format, but I don't think it comes in audio, and I don't think it comes in ebook. I think you can only get a physical book, and sometimes it's a little hard to find because it is. I hate that 1992 is old, but for books, a book published in 1992 is quite old.
Yeah, no, and it can be hard. Like I regularly, words are hard. Have to go on hunts to find books that were published in the 50s and 60s. So I know how difficult it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, go check out Bibliophage. We talked more about it, even though I talked a whole lot about it here. Yeah. But we will be starting that. And then I also think this is the year we try Handmade Garland, because I think everybody's got the hand-eye coordination for Handmade Garland.
Okay. I'm going to reach both of your points. Maybe we'll see if I get distracted and we totally side tangent away from everything. Okay. So when it comes to books, we have a book tradition, and it has been my favorite because we've read The Night Before Christmas on the night before Christmas. every year since my eldest was little. But what has happened by default is all of my kids have reached the reading age. And
Yeah.
so it has been so cool because the newest reader has been able to pick up and be the one who reads it. And last year was my last first of that tradition
Yeah.
because my littlest read us the night before Christmas, and we almost had to confiscate the book from her because this child was purposely reading it wrong. And when I say purposely reading it wrong, she was looking at the words and purposely sounding them out incorrectly in a funny way. And I'm like, this just shows what a good reader you are, that you can do that, but also read the book.
Yeah. It's called jazz rules. Once
yeah.
you know the rules, you can successfully break them, but you have to
Right.
really know them to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, but that's been fun. Every year we do that, and then we get into like patterns. Like, okay, I read every third page. You read every fifth
Yeah.
page, and it's obnoxious. It takes us an hour to get through, but it's fun. And what was the other point I was going to make?
This year, do it by word. You have to pass the book every
popcorn
word.
reading. We're gonna popcorn read it.
Popcorn reading.
There was another thing. The garland. I remembered. Okay. I will not do homemade garland because
Do you have to hit the button again?
yeah, we can.
Trauma dump.
When I was like,
no. Pause. You got to remember it. Click in that ADHD. Can I discuss that we decided to do a Christmas episode and have hit that trauma button so many times?
and I've been holding back. But no, this isn't even like this is the most like silly small thing where I'm just like never again. Because I was like 5 years old at a babysitter's house, and they were doing the homemade garland with the cranberries and the popcorn. But I did not have the supervision required at like 4 or 5 years old. So every time I'd put the needle through it, I would poke my finger, and I couldn't figure out how to not make that happen. And I'm like, I'm good.
No, I don't want
We
to.
make homemade snowflakes, like the 3D ones. That's art. We do that. That's fine. No needles
This year,
required.
I think what we're going to try is a full scale. I have never had a real Christmas tree in my house. I have been around real Christmas trees many, many times. And they don't bother me. I have an artificial tree, which is perfect. It fits exactly where it is. It stores. No one has to grow anything for me. It doesn't drop its branches all over the floor. I don't have to water it. Then the dogs will just drink the water anyway. Like, I am not a real tree person. I don't care to have them. It's not important to me for our family tradition. My plastic tree is fine. However, this year I am considering, because my kids really want to experience a real tree. I really don't want a real tree in my house. So I'm considering getting a real tree, and we will put nature decorations on it, which is where making the garland comes on. Yeah, kids, let's go back into the woods and we'll find some things and we'll make some leaf ornaments and we'll make some pine cone bird feeders, everything natural. And now we can discuss Yule, and we can discuss some of these other older winter solstice, winter holiday traditions that aren't just Western Christmas. And we can make a real tree, and it will be our outside decoration, and we'll be feeding some squirrels and maybe some deer.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I live in suburbia, so I don't have a tree to do that with.
Yeah. Well, we will have to go to a Christmas tree farm, because that's the other thing that they want to do. They see all these movies of people going to Christmas tree farms and shopping for a Christmas tree, and we don't. We just get ours out of the attic.
Anytime I think about a movie with a Christmas tree is Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
That massive tree. Oh, I love that movie. I remember when I was a kid, we had the real tree up until the point that my mom brought home a fake tree for the first time on Black Friday. Life just got easier after that. I'll never go back, because I remember having to go through 3 foot of snow and trudge through in my whole snowsuit to watch my dad cut a tree. I
Which, by
didn't
the
enjoy
way,
it.
my husband 100% does not know that I'm going to be making him get a real tree just to leave it outside.
Please keep
He'll
us
find
updated
out
on
after
how
this
that
episode
goes.
comes out.
Yeah. Please let us know how that goes. Yeah.
He might find out by this episode because we're recording this pretty far in advance. And I will forget to tell him. So he's going to listen to this episode. Walking. Gwenna, we're going to do what now?
Yeah. We always put our tree up on Black Friday. That is a tradition that has carried from my own childhood. Because, like, for me, I know some people go real hard on Christmas real early, and I'm fine with that. Like, do whatever is going to bring you the most amount of joy you can.
Absolutely.
But I know for me, I am going to be sick of Christmas by Black Friday if I do it early.
Yeah. I've put my tree up several years, like super duper early. Like Halloween came down, Christmas went up. I found that I did not prefer that by the time we got to actual Christmas. I was so sick of the room being so full and bright and twinkly, which sounds odd because that's what you want, right? When you set it all up, that's the goal. But no, that's not how my brain works. After a while, it's like, this is too full and too twinkly. That's enough. I am overstimulated by my own space.
I put my tree up on Black Friday and I take it down the day after Christmas because it's a sensory, it's just too much, especially with the Christmas chaos. And I would take it down on Christmas, but my brother threatened to beat me up once. So I was like, that's fine. I'll leave it up until the day after.
Ours typically comes down the weekend after Christmas, but also, see, earlier, my husband's family is huge. It takes us 2 to 3 business weeks to get through all of the Christmases. And sometimes one of the Christmases is hosted at my house. So I was actually quite annoyed the year that we couldn't have our Christmas gathering up until January 2nd. And I had to go all the way into 2025 with my stupid effing Christmas tree just still in my room.
I do have to say, there is that moment in parenting that you never feel like you're going to get to. Now, of course, this doesn't happen if you have cats or dogs that think they're cats. But once you get to a point where, like, you could put the ornaments at the bottom of the tree because the little hands aren't going to grab them anymore. And like,
even
you
better.
don't even realize you've made it to that point. It's just like, whoa, all the ornaments are still there. Cool.
Even better, because of the age gap of my children and the fact that my eldest daughter is a carbon copy and she prefers the Christmas tree to look the same way that I prefer. Probably because when I was the only one setting it up, that's how she saw it. So to her, that's how the ornaments are supposed to go. And that, we avoid the blank spots and we have to make sure that they're like, if there's a front to the ornament, make sure that the front is pointed.
White light or a color light person?
I am ambivalent and I accept both and love both equally. My tree has colored lights, but I have other smaller trees that have white lights. And then I have the govies on my house. So we will cycle through a whole bunch of different Christmas patterns. Sometimes they're white, sometimes they're multicolored, sometimes they're combinations. I am ambivalent to the lighting situation. The twinkly lights are pretty.
The colorful lights bring me the most joy, to the point that I got a pre-lit tree and then I put 4 more strings of light on it. My tree will blind you. So
I don't actually have to do anything for the tree decorating because, first of all, we were able to get a plug and play tree, which means you take it out of its box, you fluff the branches back up, you just stack the pieces together and it lights up. You don't have to go chasing cords around. You don't have to find where the plug ends are. You just stick it together and it lights up once you plug it in. And then my eldest and my littles are now old enough that I get to sit and sip my hot cocoa and watch Elf, which is the movie we turn on while decorating the Christmas tree, while all of the ornaments get on the tree in reasonable manners, wherein there is not I can see where the boy child was working because there are 17 ornaments on one branch. Got it.
You just recalled a memory for me of literally like last year. Okay. Because Elf is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
I love Elf.
We had Elf on and I had left the room. I was doing something just to have both of my younger children chase after me moments later, sobbing. I am like, what in the world happened? The raccoon scene. The raccoon.
All right.
They because it looked like he threw the raccoon, something like that. They were worried about the raccoon. I'm like, it wasn't a real raccoon at that point, guys.
It was definitely a stuffed animal. I feel like they even went out of their way to make it look like a stuffed animal.
And I said that too, but that's what happens when you keep trash animals as pets, just so everyone, and my kids also cry at Ratatouille. So, but one of the things that we like to do while we're watching Christmas movies, and it's really just because of my inability to sit still ever, I can't just do one thing. We like to do our Christmas crafts with the movies on, which works out great because then I can do more of the crafting, and I am a bit of a perfectionist.
How does it work? When I sit my kids down, humans are not supposed to multitask. The fact that a bunch of us have taught ourselves to multitask is irrelevant. But like when I sit my kids down, either they end up picking one. Either I think they're watching the movie and they're really intent on the craft, or I think they're going to enjoy the craft and they're really intent on the movie. And then one of them was completely ignored. How do you get your kids to do both? Oh,
I don't. What happens is that they kind of evenly split. And so then a couple of us are crafting and one of them has no idea there's even a craft happening, which is good because then I don't end up in that overwhelm of the chaos of how those little craft kits you get that have like all the foam and you have to punch it out. Less overwhelming. And then the next time we do a movie, it's natural for them to switch off and they're not planning it. So everyone gets to do the craft, but not at the same time, even though it's available at the same time.
Well, and that's always the thing is the one child will get done with the craft and the other one got lost to the movie. And then the one who was watching the movie is mad because they also now don't have a craft. I'm like, well, you could do the craft. Well, could we turn on another movie? No, I feel like 4 hours in a row of screen and craft is maybe too much in a row. Maybe let's go do something else before we go do that. Again, I think I might just like, you picked, bud. These are natural consequences. And that's what I've been going, but I've been trying to figure out how you getting them to like focus. Are you like stopping it? Hey, focus on your craft. Don't forget about that foam wreath you're working on.
Here's what I've learned is that they don't care as much about the finished product of the craft. They care about doing it. Yeah. And so there will come a point, like, and it depends on the kid, because, like, one of them, big perfectionist like me, it is going to be perfect. It is going to be the most beautiful thing. Another one of my kids literally will do the craft till she's bored and then just shoves it back in the bag that it came in. Maybe she'll get back to finishing it. Maybe not. She got the joy she needed out of the craft. She didn't feel the need to finish it. That's okay. We're not doing this for a competition. So
yeah. Well, and if it was always the girl child who was finishing the craft and the boy child who was watching the movie, that would make sense. But it's not. They swap. And I'm like, in no pattern that I ever recognize. I will say one of the things that revolutionized my ability to begin to recoup that holiday spirit, because that's always my goal. I'm always sort of looking for that one moment, that one, I don't want to say trigger, because trigger is a different thing, but that one catalyst where I'm like, oh, there's the Christmas spirit. There's the Thanksgiving excitement. While looking for that, it's much easier to find since I gave up things like the family photos. Since I gave up, if we're not enjoying it, we don't have to do it. If no one else wants to go see Santa this year, I don't have to force them to do it. If it's not important to me. Now, where it does get tricky is, no, I just want one picture of you guys with Santa, one last one. Okay, because I know that we're running out of this. We're running out of these chances. You're not going to be kids. I'm going to have pictures of grown-ups standing next to Santa. Right. You're only kids for this long. I need that. And when your family's like, no, I don't want to do that. That's where it gets really
that hurts
tricky.
A little. It's like, yeah. That's where you can end up in those weird spirals too.
Yeah.
And then it's
Just-
like, is it the biggest deal? No. Does it feel like one? Yes. Will it always? No.
Well, and especially, you want the one more picture because they're not kids much longer and they don't want to do it. And it sucks and it's hard and you're not alone that you feel left out.
Yeah.
That's not a happy thought, but you're not alone.
No, yeah, but I think that sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves for the holidays to be all happy. Like I have long said, the one Christmas song that I feel like always drawn to is literally "The Season's Upon Us" by Dropkick Murphys. It is about an incredibly dysfunctional family, and I love it.
The
It
way I
feels
thought
like
you were
home.
going to say Christmas shoes.
Don't get me started on the Christmas shoes. Okay. I am not a super holiday spirit person. Like I know for a fact there are a couple things to get me into the Christmas spirit. Okay. Number one, I will get into the Christmas spirit when I perfectly time it so that when it turns the time, I could go December 24th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is from Brent. That's how that starts. Yes, literally on Christmas Eve, I am like 9 p.m. I have Christmas spirit. Thank you, Jonathan Larson. Otherwise, it is like the moments of Christmas magic.
Yeah.
Like when there is a Santa who sees that my autistic kiddo is struggling and takes the time to let her come to him and doesn't push it, or like there is a moment where this connection can be made. I will never forget the Santa at the trolley 4 years ago. But I need to talk about Christmas shoes. I watched the movie last year, and I think it's now going to become a tradition to watch this horrible movie. And the song, if you like Christmas shoes, that's fine.
If you like Christmas shoes, just go ahead and skip the next 2 minutes of the podcast because we're about to be not nice about it.
Yeah, listen, if you like it, that's fine. I will not judge you for liking it. And I beg of you to not judge me for how much I hate it, because what is happening in this? And have you seen the movie? Because the movie makes it worse, because it's like this devastating story, and he's just like, I just need these shoes. I need the shoes.
If for whatever reason you have managed to stay under a rock and have never heard the song, the idea of Christmas shoes is this guy is in line. There is a child in line in front of him, wants to buy a set of pretty Christmas shoes, does not have enough money, offers the explanation to the cashier that his mom is dying and he wants her to be pretty when she dies and meets Jesus. So the guy behind him pays for the shoes. That's the whole story of the song.
That's the whole story. And it's the way, for me, it's like, do you guys see what a good deed I did? It feels like so like, I am awesome because this kid's mom is dying on Christmas and I bought her shoes. They don't even describe what the shoes look like. I don't. Are they ballet flats? No. Are they Converse?
Right.
Oh, what
For
are
me, in my head, they
House
were
slippers?
always like spike stilettos with like poinsettias on them. I don't know why that's what it looks like in my head.
And like, if this song inspires people to be charitable, like, that's great. But for me, I'm like, what are we doing here? What do the shoes look like? I desperately need to know.
My question was always, listen, grief is wild. It's wild. Where is the who has decided to help guide this particular child through their grief? I'm not saying it's got to be one person because everyone's dealing with that mom dying in different ways, I'm sure. One person needed to step up for that 9-year-old.
Literally,
where is his guardian?
While I was watching the movie, I was screaming that the whole time. Why are there no adults helping this poor child? Why is this poor child out alone buying shoes? It's dark. This is a young child. What is happening? So anyway, I have strong
even
feelings
in my judgment, I've always been equilateral. Listen, I can't necessarily say, well, where's the dad or where's the other mom? Because that person is actively losing their significant other. And that's a grief that's going to be occupying, right? But like somebody has to care for this kid. Somebody's got to be where unaccompanied minors buying shoes does not the Christmas spirit make.
It doesn't make me feel the Christmas spirit. It makes me feel very sad for this child and the shoes he can't afford. Why shoes? Why shoes? What?
All the things. Not a pretty dress. Not a nice little
scarf.
hair bow.
Not shoes.
Shoes.
Do the shoes need socks? Why isn't the timer stopping me?
I don't think we ever set one.
This is why we need a timer.
We're going to end on Christmas shoes ranting.
I could rant even more. Anyway, you should watch Christmas Shoes and let me know what you think. I desperately want to know your thoughts on it. And again, if you love Christmas shoes, that's fine. Please tell me in your head what the shoes look like. Are there socks involved? Email us.
Thank you so much for listening to Childproof, a part of the Airwave Media Network of podcasts. Be sure to like, share, comment, push buttons, click dots, ring bells. All of that helps the podcast keep going.
And Gwenna's newest book, The Key Thoughts, hits shelves in April, and the link to get your copy is in the show notes, or you can find it everywhere you find your favorite books, ebooks, and audiobooks.
Check out all the rest of our sibling podcasts on Airwave Media Network. It's not just Tori and I talking books, kids, hamsters. There's other folks talking about books, kids. I don't think there's anybody else talking about hamsters.
I haven't come across the hamster one, but we do want to hear from you. So email us at childproofmail@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts about the Christmas shoes. You could also leave us suggestions, questions, and also your best and brightest holiday memories or funniest wintertime stories. And please tell me about your thoughts on Christmas shoes. We will be talking about this in our next email roundup.
And remember, sometimes our kids are assholes.
And sometimes it's us. And the person
Definitely
who
the
won't
guy
tell me
who
about
wrote
the Christmas
Christmas
shoes.
shoes. It's always
What kind of shoes are they?
Screw those shoes.